allow the two children to have the budget. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My yegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹ́gọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìí yẹ. Mayegun máa wí. bójó bá rúfin o. Máyégún màmí. Àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù. Máyégún ti dé. Kíkó nìna kówó jẹ. Máyégún màmí. Àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù. Máyégún
ti dé. Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. Thank you very much for joining me. Brethren, if you can hear me loud and clear, remember the routine. After reading the caption of the broadcast, kindly, peacefully read the description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell them that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. So if you have done that already, thank you. Now, tonight, we shall continue to review the happenings in the contraption and the active players in the happenings in Nigeria. So, yesterday, it was the turn of Kwakwanso when he also hosted his own members or supporters to discuss the future the future of northern Nigeria under thiefnubu. And according to him, it has been proven beyond reasonable doubt that thiefnubu and his handlers, they hate the poor. And it's becoming obvious as well that the poor also hates them. He, being the leader of the Kwakwanso movement in Kano and northern Nigeria, is considered the movement of the poor. Yeah, the political movement of the poor people in northern Nigeria. And Kwakwanso is a self-acclaimed leader of the poor in northern Nigeria. There are many of them. So in his own address, he said, they have met and they have decided, in his words. And who are those who met and decided? They are the northern politicians. He called them our people. We have told our people to reject thiefnubu's tax reform. Even though the same set of his people, in quotes, the lawmakers in Abuja are partly the champion or the champions of thiefnubu's policies. They are the rubber stamp National Assembly members whose personal interest overrides the regional interest, at least so far. So the National Assembly of Nigeria, the assemblage of rogues and criminals, retired state criminals who are now retired to the National Assembly, converge in a place called the National Assembly of Nigeria. And they are led by Akpabiole. And Akpabiole has proven beyond reasonable doubt that he is just a pencil in the hands of thiefnubu, and he can be used to write just anything and everything that thiefnubu desires. And to those, for those northern politicians or northern lawmakers, if the price is right, they are willing and ready to play ball. And as for Kolu, a drug lord whose entire life is about making deals, in all sincerity, he told those who claim to be the northern leaders that visited him, complaining about them being shortchanged in thiefnubu's regime. He told them categorically that he paid for this presidency, he bought this seat, and therefore nobody should, by any chance, nobody should intimidate or harass or threaten him with anything, and he will do whatever he wants whenever he wants. So he already told them this categorically. As for the northern lawmakers, man, in my own opinion, they tend to be among the overrated buffoons, overfed pigs in the National Assembly, who kind of always have this, this entitlement of, if we don't approve it, if we are not in support of it, it will never come to pass. thiefnubu is deceiving everyone, telling them that he is harmonizing the taxes in Nigeria, and the poor people will not be taxed, the rich will be taxed. However, this tax reform is going to help the poor, like the subsidy removal. But the lies there is that whether they are collecting taxes from everyone or they are not collecting it from everyone, from some and not everyone, thiefnubu's policies are anti-people. And it is mainly to serve the interest of Kolu and his own acolytes. You know what I mean? His co-travelers. And as for Kwakwanso and others like him, in my own opinion, again, I think some of them are still living in the past. The past when they believe that if Northern Nigeria says no, then that thing cannot happen. I have not seen a single no to all the decisions of thiefnubu in the last 18 months that scaled any stage of that debate in their National Assembly. Whatever thiefnubu wants or whatever thiefnubu wanted, he got. But for Kwakwanso, no, the game is going to be different this time around, because thiefnubu's tax reform, which we have sort of like deliberated on severally, okay, and a lot of people have shared their own personal view to the Southerners. Yeah, averagely, the sentiment from the South is that maybe for the first time, right, the Northern Nigeria should go and make their own real money and stop relying on the money from Southern Nigeria, okay, which means a lot of them, chunk of them, have grown to become so lazy that all they depend on is the federal allocation. Now, I think this is the same impression that the Northern Nigeria also have, these politicians, and they want to leverage on that. They are telling their people that once thiefnubu's tax reform is passed, you see that poverty they are witnessing in Northern Nigeria right now will be a child's play, all right, like to what is to come. And it is better for their people, in quotes, the lawmakers from the North, to reject it. So in Kwakwanso's words, you see, when they are doing this, right, whenever they want to do something like this, they usually just speak in Hausa, because they know that I don't understand Hausa. A lot of us from the southern part of Nigeria do not understand Hausa. So they do this to rile them. Yesterday, it was Bala Muhammad from Bauchi that was telling his people that if thiefnubu go ahead with that tax reform, it will cause anarchy in Nigeria. In Hausa, Kwakwanso too. Listen to this.
in ba za su kawo abubuwa na alheri wanda jama'a za su kawo da su ba, sai Allah su tawakkali su kare al'umma su ci gaba da samun kansu a cikin wannan hali mara daɗi, amma bai kamata su yi a ranar da suke zuwa za su kara su bakwai da rabi zuwa 10. Matsalar shi ne 'yan kasuwarmu ko shakka babu da waɗanda suke kera abubuwa da suke shigowa da shi in an ƙara 2.5 cikin 100 ya zama 10 cikin 100 inda 7.5 cikin 100 yanzu to sai ta farashin da aka yi shi yanzu a kasuwa sai ya sake nuna farashi wanda ininka ba da ƙara albashi za a yi ba a nan nake gode wa gwamna an ce a ƙara 70,000 ni na samu labarin ma sai da ya ɗora ɗaya don a nuna kan da wannan yana da muhimmanci kuma wannan shi ne bambancin da su da yadda suke cewa su kansu yarinsu mu abin da muke faɗa shine talakawa mutane mabukata wanda ko za ka kashe su ko da za ka ba su za su ambaci talaka domin ba sa tare da shi ya tabbata su ma talakawa ba sa tare da su a haka ake tafiya kuma in Allah da sai mun haɗa kai mun yi jagoranci na talakawa da mutane mabukata a jihar Kano da arewacin Najeriya da Najeriya da baki daya jimbi shi kadai ne zai sa mutane talaka ya numfasa talaka ya samu kwanciyar hankali talaka ƴaƴansa su je makaranta a yi abubuwa wanda yake da ba za su yi rayuwa mai kyau mutane su yi addinin su yadda Allah ya ce a yi kuma a sami kwanciyar hankali da jin daɗi a ƙasa da ba su samu.
God bless you, Jerry Mike. This is how we keep reminding ourselves, we are not one country. We are not one. There's nothing called one Nigeria. One Nigeria is the creation of the political class and their foreign counterparts, pushing the idea of one Nigeria. Nigeria has over 200 different languages, and this is just being moderate. In fact, we possibly have over 500 different languages in that place called Nigeria. If you take English away, and you take the broken English away, the rest of us can be inside the room and we will be talking. We will never understand ourselves. Yes, put Yoruba, Hausa, Igbo, Fulani, Igede, Ijo, Yoruba, Ishekiri, Nupe, Tifi, put all of us inside one room and so yeah, start talking to yourselves. That's when you realize that Omo, there's no one Nigeria. So you will need somebody to come and interpret. You see all those European countries and other countries that don't speak English, right? Do you know how lost you'll be? You just be there like. But they want people like that to coexist and remain one under the guise of one united Nigeria. Anyway, I'll come back to that. So Kwakwanso was telling them that the Talakawas, the poor people, are going to suffer more under thiefnubu. Their journey towards 2027 is already cooking, like it's cooking like this. And when they are cooking it, it's going to be in their language. Just the same way, thiefnubu, when thiefnubu is with his own people too, you always remind everybody, Yoruba lokan. And somebody from another part of Nigeria will be like, what does that mean?
Yoruba lokan. Yoruba náà, èmi ló kàn.
Èmi ló kàn. They had to go and teach them how to say that in the north. Say, omi ló kàn. Èmi ló kàn. Me look like that. Say, now it's my turn. It's my turn. Èmi ló kàn. That's the seat they call Nigeria. That's why we call it Nigeria, by the way. So to the Kwakwanso, they're like, thiefnubu hates the poor people like he hates you, the Talakawas. And the best thing is that I know that you also hate this government as well. Look at what they have done to you. Once they implement their tax reform, they will cut down, they will cut down the money they give to us in the north. We will not be able to pay the school fee, pay for the education. We will not be able to pay for the healthcare. We will not be able to pay salary. We will not be able to do anything in the north. And it is intentionally, it is their intention to keep the wealth in the south. That's what he's telling them. So would you allow that? No. Would you let thiefnubu further impoverish us? No. So what would you do? You must punish them. That says 2027. But as for the Onukus from the south, especially the Lagos Abobakus, they feel disappointed. In fact, they feel betrayed. I have seen some of them lament on social media. You see, these northern people, they are betrayers. Say, what's up, bros? Honestly speaking, man, I can never trust this northern. I say, Kilote, what happened, sir? During the Boko Haram time, even though Boko Haram was destroying Nigeria and all of that, we Yorubas, who is we? Aboshiri. You are standing we. Say you Ronukus. But we Yoruba Ronukus. We stood by Boko Haram. We defended Boko Haram for 8 years. So you were aware that Boko Haram was destroying Nigeria, impoverishing Nigerians. You were aware, but you defended him. You called your fellow Yorubas Somali. You called them enemies of Nigeria because you were defending Boko Haram Fulani that was destroying Nigeria. So that in turn, you expect the Fulani, the Hausa Fulanis, to come and defend thiefnubu that is doing the same thing as well. Do you see why I will never pray for any Ronuku anywhere, woman abroad? This is why I will never pray for them. Their level of hypocrisy destroyed, their contraption beyond, like people's lives, livelihood, businesses were destroyed. People were impoverished. Families lost loved ones. Nigeria became the terrorist capital of the world. But these guys were defending Boko Haram because they expected, now that they've had their share. In fact, when some northerners were protesting against Boko Haram, guess those who were attacking them? The Ronukus, the Yoruba Ponus, those Omualele Yorubas. So you knew that Boko Haram was destroying Nigeria. You all knew. And you called us enemies of Nigeria. People who didn't wish Nigeria well to defend Boko Haram. Now they feel disappointed. They are feeling betrayed. That everywhere now in the northern Nigeria, the fake romance between the north, hypothetically, right, the north and the Yorubas, the relationship has broken down. That now the north is now threatening thiefnubu of 2027. Remember, these were those who supported Boko Haram to unleash terror on the people of eastern Nigeria, the Igbos. They called the Igbos troublemakers. They said the Igbos hated Boko Haram. Therefore, Igbos hated Nigeria. When Boko Haram said the Igbos are the dot in the cycle, they supported him. So right now, they are crying that the North is conspired against thiefnubu. So if they see any northerner that is saying something nice about thiefnubu, Omo come and say, so, thank you, Jare, my brother. Well, God bless you, Jare, my brother. We should talk to your people. Talk to your people. Okay, President thiefnubu, it means well. It means well for everybody, especially the northerners. We stood by you. You should stand by us too. Stand by you. Meanwhile, if you are from northern Nigeria and you say thiefnubu, the drugging call is failing, the Ronukus will automatically come and say, when Bokwari was destroying Nigeria, where were you? Say, oh yeah, face Arai. So right now, they believe that what they are now doing now is that to make themselves feel, I don't know, the way they are kind of like a coping, they will be like, Ogbeni, thiefnubu is not Jonathan. No. If you think you can try anything you did with Jonathan, with Ashiwaju Awole, we will let you know that thiefnubu is not Jonathan. We will face ourselves. We will just face yourselves. That's exactly how it should be. You, Ronuku, so yeah, face the Buhari idiots, the side barbarians. Oh yeah, let the side barbarians face the bat idiot. Oh yeah, face Arani. 18 months. 18 months. So Kwakwanso, like many others, that they are indirectly calling betrayers now. Okay. In fact, it has gotten to a stage where they are even suspecting some of them. When this Niger presidency accused thiefnubu, okay, of plotting to destabilize the region with France, they had to force the hand of some of these northerners in thiefnubu's regime cabinet to begin to speak Hausa, grant interview, to debunk it, go back to their region, go and share money, go and tell people, go and call their fast, all the clerics, and try to talk to them and ask them to please talk to your people. We know they hate thiefnubu a lot now. His policies have sort of rendered them even poorer. So the promise of a tax reform, which would then reduce what they were getting from, this is true, okay? So it is like, let's say the North is receiving, it's an example, so you can probably juxtapose that with the actual figure if you look for it, okay? But this is an example. Let's say Northern Nigeria, which has 19 plus the Middle Belt, right? Which has 19 states. Out of the 19, I think 12 of them, they are the upper North, the Sharia North, okay? So you see these 12 states, it's like let's say they are contributing 1 billion naira, okay? They are contributing 1 billion naira to the national purse, but every month, but they are taking like 100 billion naira. Do you see that far? That's extra 99 billion because of population every month. Do you see the difference? It's like you are contributing 1 billion. There is no Baba Jebu, there is no payback from your gambling. Not even crypto can pay you that money. Okay. So you are putting in 1 billion and you are taking out like 100 billion naira every month. That's a lot. So with this, their tax reform, blah, 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 it will come be like, say, they are still going to be putting the 1 billion in if they don't work hard. But now, from that 100 billion, it will now come down to maybe 35 billion. Do you see the difference? That's how massive they believe they are going to lose. Even though thiefnubu is assuring them that, no, it's not that bad. Even though it's bad, but it's not that bad. You too should kind of work hard, okay? Maybe if you put more in, at least it's not as if to say, yeah, you are getting your 1 billion back. You put 1 billion in. It's not like we are giving you 1 billion. We're still going to give you like about 45 billion. This money is also other people's money. So with this tax reform now, you won't get the 100 billion, but you will still get something. Okay? But still, you have land in the north. Be creative. Yeah? Try and be very creative, and you can make, you see, you can make more money. And they are like, no, what do you mean? That we should agree with you. From free money, from free 99 billion, you are reducing it to almost like by 60%. No, we are going to suffer. And it's true. And there is no arrangement where 2 or 3 states can merge together. So you can just merge yourself together and say, we are too poor to have governors driving expensive cars, private jets, okay? Where you have no schools, you have no hospitals, you have no roads. But because you are a state in northern Nigeria, your governors, commissioners appoint, they are all driving expensive automobiles and all that. So now that you don't have much money, or you are merged together, okay, and turn some of these states to local government areas. They don't want that. This is what the tax reform means. It's no more money for them. It is less money. And they know it. So no grammar is going to actually make them feel like it is in their own interest. So that is why it is one of their campaign talks in northern Nigeria right now. The other part.
Mun jagoranci na talakawa da mutane mabukata a jihar Kano da arewacin Najeriya da Najeriya da baki daya. Jinjiyar shi kadai ne zai sa mutane talaka ya numfasa, talaka ya samu kwanciyar hankali, talaka ƴaƴansa su je makaranta, a yi abubuwa wanda yake da ma'a za su yi rayuwa mai kyau, mutane su yi addinin su yadda Allah ya ce a yi, kuma a sami kwanciyar hankali da jin daɗi a ƙasa da ba su samu.
Sorry about that. I've got something I'm putting on, so my audio had to like pop up. But this is like a little bit of a digression now. The Southerners want resource control. The Northerners don't want that, because Nigeria is existing based on one principle: rob Peter to pay Paul arrangement. You rob the Peter to pay Paul. It is the theory of rich wife and poor husband. Northern Nigeria is considered the poorest husband. Very lazy, okay? Very lazy and unproductive. Or is forcefully married to a rich wife, which is the South. The wife is so productive, has a lot of children, and the husband is a drunk, jobless, lazy, unscrupulous, and name it. Because it doesn't have to do anything. The wife can feed the children. Maybe not all the children will eat well, but at least the wife can take care of the children. That's the logic of one Nigeria. But it is the laziness of the political class. Northern Nigeria can be so rich if they can do away with their criminal political class, like Kwakwanso, their governors, the Satan of Jokoto, their emirs, their clerics, their elites generally. If they can wipe all of them up, wipe them out once, there is a chance that the northern Nigeria can be richer than the southern part of Nigeria. They have the land, they have the resources, they have the people, but they don't have the required education, by the way, which is the fault of their ruling class, their elite, intentionally making them poorly educated, exposed, and all that. It's all intention, it's all by design. They discovered crude oil in Bauchi and is it Bauchi and Gombe? Have you forgotten? The Bokuwari spent $1.2 billion drilling for oil. And then in 2022 or 2021, they announced that they have found crude oil. You remember? They have a name for it, OPF something basin. But some of us believe that they did not find any crude oil. They only used over $1 billion to dig a borehole, which they possibly found water. But they made celebration about it. So, to me, they should be extracting that crude oil, stop terrorism, their own uranium, lithium. These are resources that could make the northern Nigeria, especially agriculture, resources, agriculture. But how can you have agriculture where these criminals, with the shared money that they are collecting from Abuja, they have used the money to nurture the homegrown terrorists, which they continue to defend, continue to protect in northern Nigeria. They invested the free money they are getting, not on education, not on real infrastructure, not on the people. They've used them to take care of themselves and their families. The rest they've used to produce this array of terrorists who in turn have done so well to destroy agriculture in northern part of Nigeria. So if thiefnubu, which now, I mean, don't be saying anything who could work for anybody anyway before. So to me, make thiefnubu now do what he knows how to do best. Okay? Whatever money cannot do, more money will do it. The people that Kwakwanso is counting on to reject thiefnubu's tax reform, they are on break now. So next year, 2025, almost 2025, my interesting gone. Chai. 2025 will be interesting. It's going to be an interesting year. Make we shall get long life. We will live long enough to witness some of these historical events. You know? Did I hear amen? Yes. You shall live long enough to witness all of this. Because 2 years ago, this same religious and political elites of northern Nigeria, they were calling us kafiris, kafirina, the unbelievers. And we were considered enemies of Islam for telling them that those who are pushing the Mumu ticket, Muslim ticket, they are not even Muslims. These are pretenders, these are criminals. So how could anybody who is a true Muslim stand up in front of his own congregation, right? Stand up and tell them to go and support a drug dealer. In Islam, terrorism is actually haram. I know it's going to be like a shocker to some of you. Terrorism is haram in Islam. Jihad, So then it's like jihad is not haram, it's only war. Okay? But terrorism, the way you have seen it so far, is actually haram. So somebody who is a terrorist sympathizer, as well as somebody who is a drug dealer, a drug baron, thiefnubu, Alaji, what do you call it? Alaji Kolu. You now saw Afas, supposed Islamic people. That's why I won't take them serious. I've never taken them serious anyway, so I will never take them serious as well. How could anybody who is a true cleric stand in front of his own congregation and say they should go and support a drug dealer, heroin trafficker? Like, what the heck, man? But it happened. Yeah, it happened. They were everywhere. They gathered them in Kano. The person that brought all of them to Kano and paid on behalf of thiefnubu was also a thief. The Babariga Mobile Banking CEO of Kano, Gandola was the one that brought all the affairs together. All these, what do they call them? All these guys from the Plateau State. The conflict for jihad people. Do you remember their name again? Izala. The Izala Islamic movement. Those terrorist enablers too. Izala. They brought all of them to Kano. They were, they came out and they said, one Muslim is so good, two Muslim is great, and therefore anybody who was against that mumu ticket, it's an enemy of Islam. I say, enemy of Islam, drug dealer. This person is a drug dealer. They shut out your mouth in the name of Allah. I say, okay. Today, they now know better, and they will do it again, by the way. So that's why I don't want to bank on them. So now they are saying that this mumu ticket last, you know, it never even reached 2 years. Within a year, they already know that in a bad market. So now they want to now use a different thing. I don't know how that's going to work anyway, because, you know, they have turned their shitty man to spare tire. Very useless one, right? I mean, by that. And they are telling the people that thiefnubu call actually hates them. And therefore, their own people have agreed to stop thiefnubu next year on this tax reform. I say, I would love to see that. You know, let's see those ones from northern Nigeria that will stop thiefnubu. It's going to be interesting. Now listen to this lady.
I don't mean to be rude. I don't want to be rude to anybody, and I don't want to disrespect anybody, and I don't want to insult anybody. What I'm saying is that is the real truth. The real truth. The real problem of Nigeria. The real problem of Nigeria are Northerners. Northerners, Fulani, Hausa are the problem of Nigeria. They don't want our Nigerian progress. If they are not the one in power, then nobody can do it. It's only them that can do it. If you say you deprive Igbo people from having what is supposed to be theirs, allow them to go for their Biafra. If you say Yoruba people are not competent, they cannot rule Nigeria, allow them to go. Then we, the Northerners, should just stay and rule ourselves. If we kill ourselves, that's our business. You cannot say no, because Igbos, you think Igbos are thieves, Igbos are wicked, Igbos are this, they are that, they are this. There is no way that there's not the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you cannot help the Igbos, allow them to go. If you cannot carry the Yorubas, if you don't want them to rule you, allow them to go. Then we, the Northerners, will rule ourselves. If it's going to be better. We are one Nigeria, so we want the best for Nigeria. So we should look at where we are going wrong so that we can perfect it.
Thank you, Jariajia. Guess what? That video was where I saw the video was on one of the Ronuku's profiles. Yeah. A Ronuku posted the video because what she's saying aligned with what they are feeling right now. Because according to them, the Northerners, they are angry with thiefnubu, not because thiefnubu is failing. To the Ronukus, the people that the North is against thiefnubu because they are not in power. Not because that they have destroyed Nigeria within the last 18 months alone. No. Nigeria has seen the worst that so many people never believed could happen. No. So if you are a Northerner, and you come out and you say, this is our North is, you go make friends with the Ronukus. They are looking for anybody that can just be on their side right now. Because according to them, this is a betrayer. You betrayed them. You did not. If thiefnubu is destroying Nigeria, and so, Shey Bokwari did not destroy Nigeria. Shey we complain. We're even fighting our own people, telling them to shut up and give Bokwari chance, give him time. We even supported him twice. This is Ronukus. But she's right to some extent. Let us break up this shit hole. Make everybody go their ways. If thiefnubu's actions are going to make that happen, who are you to stop it? Northern Nigeria, you can do without the rest of Nigeria. Carry your 11 or 12 Sharia states and your own country. Let the people of the Middle Belt also have their own country. As for us, the Yoruba, let us have ours. As for the Biafrans, let them have theirs. So that we can stop blaming one another. Since this contraption called Nigeria is turn by turn, Nigeria Limited. It doesn't really matter anyway. If thiefnubu can rile them up, even though if it is for his own selfish interest, at anything to scatter everything, show me where to cast my vote. I vote for it. To break up this contraption and stop all these lies that we are living. There is no one Nigeria. What you have is many Nigeria. The moment the money sharing stops, you will know that there is no one Nigeria. The only thing that makes them to claim one Nigeria is because of the money. And most of this is coming from southern part of Nigeria. It's a fact, bro. It is a fact. It's not that you don't have the potential. There's this monumental potential in northern Nigeria. But the handlers, the people in charge of that place, they have become so lazy, so selfish, so self-centered. Yeah? That they will burn down everything just to have their way. They will. Including sacrificing their own people, their lives, just to have that power, just to be in charge, just to be in control. And whenever they are in control, they do not even serve the interest of their people. No, they don't. I mean, I like it. I like this drama. I have to play out. So if the Ronukus are going to begin to realize that there is nothing called one Nigeria, and yes, it is their turn now. Make them chop up quick before everything, we shall be here reporting it. Yesterday in Ibadan. You see this rogodinho about Sharia or no Sharia. Of course, there are some Olori Buruku Edas àwọn gbàwèrè mẹ́sìns, which we have now been briefed that the intention is actually to cause religious crisis in Yorubaland. It is not as if to say the Muslims in Yorubaland, they have any problems practicing their religion, settling their disputes. No, there is no record of that. There is no record of the Christians in Yorubaland having problem with the Muslims, or the Muslims having problems with the traditionalists, except in Ilorin, except those fanatics from Ilorin. Okay, those Fulani Yorubas. Do you know that there are Fulani Yorubas, and they are mostly in Kwara State? And guess what? They do not even form more than 20 or 25%. The population of the Yorubas in Kwara State, that Kwara State, is more than 60% to 70% of the population, including the towns that are Yoruba towns. And you remove Ilorin, let's just put Ilorin there, like, okay, Ilorin, stay here. Okay, Ilorin is a place where they have a caliphate. All right, and it was because Ilorin was where Alimi and Afonja had pacts. Afonja, who was fighting Alaafin Abiodun back then, it was meant to be Alaafin Abiodun's one of his warriors. Fortunately, he parleyed with this charm seller, somebody who was selling charm back then, called Alimi. He was an Apa, all right, a Fulani man who was selling charm in the bag like that. So he was making charm for for Afonja. And Afonja decided to, told him to actually match his own Fulani fighters plus his own fighters. So now what? To resist the rulership of the Alaafin, and claim that he has declared his own independence from the rest of Yorubaland, which was supposed to be controlled by Alaafin of Oyo. History in here, so this was how Ilorin came to be. And that is why in Ilorin, you will see that they are speaking Yoruba, all right? But the thing is, they are also half Yoruba, half Fulani. No, true story. And yeah, they are Yorubas, but they are also Fulanis. But they are people who fancied more of their Fulani blood than the Yoruba blood because of the religion. And it has been like that from generations, like it's been a while. True story. And that is why you will see some of them, the way they will disparage the rest of Yorubaland. The way they talk, the way they do their stuff. Not all of them, I'll say some of them. So they have their caliphate in there, and they will tell you that Ilorin, that it is a town that is far from hellfire and very close to paradise. So therefore, all these traditional, don't bring it here. This is like holy place, because that was where the Alimi soldiers, right, who also impregnated many of the Yorubas and gave birth. Their forefathers are like that, mixed blood like that. It's a pride for some of them. It's just that the way they disparage the rest of Yorubas is what is not going to settle with a lot of us. Or if you go to Kwara State, the larger part of Kwara State is Yorubaland. Yorubas speak Yorubas fluently. Like Yorubas, true, blood, everything. No mix or anything. But when they are creating this contraption Nigeria, when they are creating their states, they now they said Kwara State is North Central. It is not South Central. Why is it not? Why can't they just call it South Central? Why is it North Central? No. But that's a long story, you know. And then, they are practicing their religion. Everybody should be like coexisting peacefully, no too much, you know. This is us as Yorubas, right? So why are you bringing up this Sharia, that, as if to say your Sharia doesn't even, I mean, your Sharia exists within the religion itself. Now we have now been kind of like told that some of these are externally funded agendas. So yesterday in Ibadan, the traditionalists, the Christians, and then the Muslims, the Islamic sort of scholars, or your state, or not Yorubaland, or your states, they met in Ibadan. And I think Baba Elebuibon was also there. Yemi Elebuibon. Now, this meeting was about, ironing out whatever differences and other stuff they are hearing, and to how they can assure themselves that this is a non-issue. All the people that try to say they want to set up a Sharia court in Oyo, Sharia court around Oyo town, and all of that, right? Even though they have been told that they can dream on, and they themselves they have like postponed it. They're no longer doing it now, but that doesn't mean that they won't try it again. So this meeting is in Yoruba. So I am going to try my bit to put a little bit of a subtitle into what they are saying in the comments and put it on the screen. And everyone else who is Yoruba here watching this broadcast can also do the same, as we watch this a long watch, where all the representatives of all these religions in Oyo State met to discuss the way to make sure that this does not degenerate into something else. I have more on that. Here is the first one.
Guardian Ogunṣọlá bàbá ẹ̀ kú ní ìlú Ìbàdàn bí mo wà l'Amẹ́ríkà ní bàbá ọmọ fẹ́ kẹ́ ẹ wálé ó ti tí òun tó jẹ́ ń bàbá òun kún un dẹ̀ fẹ́ ká jọ wà ń bí bẹ́rí àyẹn kò lè dá àti gbogbo wa ń ṣe ṣe rí Mẹ́síkò dé ní kò tí ì pé.
Kò sí ẹ̀sìn tí kò sí ìbú rẹ̀ lórí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì. Mo ka ti Islam dé level kan níbi ọdún mẹ́ta lèmi tí máa ń kà wọn kìíní yẹn pé ìbàjẹ́ yìí pọ̀ fa mo sápò ni mo wá kàn lu tàwọn Christian náà mo ní èyí ìbò àyà mo kàn lu tàwọn traditionalists lórí íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì kan náà. Íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì lè sùn tí ń dá gbogbo ẹ̀ lẹ̀. Orí ẹ̀ ní gbogbo àwọn tó ń dá wàhálà yìí lẹ̀ ló ń kálukú tí ń lọ píìkì tí ó píìkì. Mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ ká mọ kìíní kan òbí mi sì máa ń sọ lásìkò wá sí mi. Tá a bá dàrú kọlẹ̀ kò possible kémi ò mú bàbá Ọlọ́run ló mẹ́rú ẹ̀ yìí pé ẹ wo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ti dàrú ẹja lọ Saudi ẹ̀yin Council for Islamic Preachers ẹja máa lọ Saudi ọmọ ìyá wa ni wọ́n Saudi ò ní gbà wá láyè ọmọ ìyá ẹ̀sìn ni wá àìsàn ọmọ ìyá àlù kì í ṣèlú tiwa Ọlọ́run ò ṣe mistake láti dá wa síbí. Ìwọ ló dá gbogbo wa àti Muslim àti traditionalist àti Christian àlọ́lọ́run mi ká pé ìwọ náà ni gbogbo wa ìwọ náà ni gbogbo wa ń jà sí lọ́rùn ìwọ náà ni gbogbo wa là ń tara sí lọ́rùn ìfẹ́ tí gbogbo wa náà ní sí ẹ lọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni la fi ń tara sí ẹ lọ́rùn nílànà ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ àfikàn ṣoṣo rẹ bí Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí àlàáfíà ó jọba ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá torí ìjókòó yìí kì í ṣe tọ̀yọ́ state nìkan ó máa padà kan state mi o bet ìpìlẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá láti jókòó yìí ibi t'Awólọ́wọ̀ ti ṣèjọba láti jókòó yìí ibi tí ń jẹ́ seat of power ilẹ̀ Yorùbá láti jókòó yìí àfikàn ṣoṣo rẹ bí Olúwa má jẹ́ ká rí ogun ẹ̀sìn fi àlàáfíà sí àárín wa pé jókòó yìí pé ká lè da ẹ̀sìn pọ̀ kó kálukú ṣe tiẹ̀ lọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ bet bó làlàáfíà ó ṣe jọba gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè ká fi fẹ́ràn ara wa Olúwa fìfẹ́ sáàrin wa jẹ́ ká láṣeyọrí àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ èèyàn líle láàrin wa tí wọ́n wọ́nà àti jẹ ní túláàsì tí wọ́n dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ Olúwa bá bọ̀ wọ́n ní sùúrù bá mi lànà àwọn kan rọ́nà jẹ̀mí ká má bàa dàwárú mọ́ wàlà hàwùlà wàlà quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim.
ìbáwá lápàlà láti orí orí nìyẹn àwọn kékeré ti wálé. Bàbá wa àràbà mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín, ká dára fún wa. Bàbá wa Akéwàgbé mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin àfa mo wí pé àsàlámù aláìkùm. Mo kí bàbá wa sí àbọ̀ orúkọ yìí o. Kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ Ọlọ́run pé àlàáfíà Ọlọ́run wà pẹ̀lú gbogbo wa. Tó àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run. Ọ̀gá wa tá a wá bá àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Gbogbo ẹ̀ tiẹ̀ ti kọ́kọ́ tiẹ̀ ti yanjú níbi tiẹ̀ ti kọ́kọ́ lọ mú ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn pé ẹ̀yin gan ni mẹ́ta lọ́kàn. Now bọ́dẹ̀ mọ̀ yí pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe ní ọ́fíìsì náà lè máa tún máa ṣe lẹ́rìn wó àlórí mídíà tó mú èmi àti bàbá Akéwàgbé mọ́ra wa lórí ọ̀rọ̀ wá sí wọn ni àwọn bàbá wa tán jókòó yìí báwọ̀ bá ti wá mọ̀ àwọn ọmọ àjẹ́ pé ọmọ àlè gidi márùnláyà bọ́lọ́mọ́ sí alọ́mọ àlè nípa ọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n làá fi dìde ọ̀rọ̀ wọn làwọn ayé àlọ́dàgbà táwọn ṣe tíátà à ń ṣe eré àwàdà káàkiri agbólóhùn ọ̀rọ̀ wọn là máa fi ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ọmọ pé ẹni ló mọ́ọ̀gùn òsì ní mọ̀ pé à ń jí nǹkan mú. Pásítọ̀ wa tí Ọlọ́run fi agbára mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta lé lọ́wọ́ ọmọ wa àdúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ẹ rí i pé ẹ̀kọ́ tí ń fojú mú hàn nígbà tí mùsùlùmí àti kìrìsìtẹ́nì aláwọ̀ aláàfin àwọn láti fi hàn bàbá wa mo ní ká lọ àkọ́kọ́ lọ sílé Ifẹ̀ láàfin àwọn tá a kọ́kọ́ máa bá sọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n ti ẹ̀ ń béèrè àwọn nǹkan tí ń dà lóru yìí náà ni bàbá fẹ́ rí kábíyèsí káwọ́kọ́ lọ gba ẹsẹ̀ ìyá àdúrà kan Esther Abímbọ́lá mo ní rí kábíyèsí ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá pa fẹ́ wá ṣe ìpàdé àlàáfíà ká lọ bá Esther Abímbọ́lá sóun ló lórí orílẹ̀-èdè ni àbóun ló kúkú bí kábíyèsí ká mọ̀ pọ́dọ̀ wọn la fẹ́ gbà ọ̀rọ̀ yìí jẹ́ nǹkan tó ti ọkọ̀ bú mi tó tún sí mi lọ́kàn pé kí ló dé yóò dẹ̀ ti yé gbogbo wa nítorí pé ìyá ò ní àkàrà àtẹ̀kọ́ tó máa pín fún àwọn ìyẹn láfi lè rí kábíyèsí alòdì sí bí a ti wá ń wà lọ́wọ́ àbọ̀ ní nọ́mbà wọn ti tẹ̀ mí lọ́wọ́ kò lè tó bá jẹ́ Ifẹ̀ náà lálò a níbi tá a lò láàfin asa ń pera wa lójoojúmọ́ àgbà yóò dalẹ̀ o wọ́n try lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ gan time to time wọ́n gbìyànjú ọmọ ẹ̀kọ́ lóòótọ́ ẹ wo ọmọdé tó bá ti sọ lẹ́nu ó ti sàpòyà pọ̀ ẹ má bínú pọ̀ òwe mi ń pọ̀ o ẹjọ́ ẹ foríjì mi o àdúpẹ́ pé a fi àwọn àgbààgbà lé bàbá ti dàrú tán a lè rí nǹkan a lọ kó bá kálukú wọn àwa sì yọ̀ǹgì ọmọ ọjọ́ mélòó làwa kọlọ́n kó jẹ́ ẹ̀ka náà dàgbà náà mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn bàbá wa àràlàgbà a ní a mú ìjókòó ìwá sí ibi gbà.
So these are the representatives of the three religions. God bless you, Jare. Ade Williams, and who's the other person who is kind of educating us there? Issue is not Satan, even though I am not here to preach about this religious stuff now, okay? Issue is not Satan. It is this other religion that created issue as Satan, okay? The same way you have prophets in your religion, that's exactly how the traditionalists also have their own prophets too, because to them, right, prophets are not angels, okay? Prophets are like messengers, okay? They believe that they are messengers of God. and God was not relating with people or kind of like relating to people directly. He used to send people, send those his messengers to us. So in Yorubaland, where we are traditionalists, right? Issue la lu ogiri oko onile kongun kongun onile orita, right? Lives on the on the footpath, right? Onile orita is a messenger. He was a man, right? Ogunlakaye Oshinmole is also a messenger. Similarly, when you hear about Shongo and all these guys, they are messengers. I don't want to compare them to your own prophets and what have you, so that I don't kind of make you feel uncomfortable, even though it will be intentional if I kind of say that. But again, out of respect. So the people who have received so much disrespect in Yorubaland, in this African tradition, they have been the African traditionalists. Okay. I am a Yoruba man. I am a traditionalist, even though I don't practice it per se, right? However, we are the wrong of all your slurs and all your abuses, all your what have you. Okay, we are considered as those who are going to possibly go to hell. Here you get, as other religions are going to send you to heaven and send you to Anyway, Angel Kingsley. Nice to meet you. If I have angels here who are with us, right? It's a pleasure to meet you. But me now, like me, I'm not angel. I am like a prophet. So you can call me Prophet Mayegun. So that when I die, right? When I die, my own followers, they can begin to kind of like pray for the to the universe. I say the universe. We want you to please bless us today, and in the for the sake of your messenger, Mayegun General, will you bless us today? But that's when I die, all right? Because all these guys also lived; they once lived. So in Yorubaland, the bottom line is that in Yorubaland, you have the freedom of is a place where the freedom of religion is more pronounced. In northern Nigeria, they are Islamic this and that. In eastern Nigeria, they are mostly Christians. And they will tell you they do not want all this kind of Islamic ideologies in the East. Yeah, you will see Easterners that are totally, they don't want it. In northern Nigeria, they don't want to hear anything about Christianity and what have you. But in Yorubaland, you will see the Christians, you will see the Muslims, you will see the traditionalists. We are all coexisting, just like that. It is the only place in the entire Nigeria where your religion is your religion. Nobody really cares per se. You can do your thing. There's no suspicion. There is no what have you. Sure you get. So why should some certain people want to now make it more like, we will control you like this madman? Listen to this one. Wípé àwọn Mùsùlùmí kan náà fẹ́ ṣe Sharia council ẹ wá lẹ́ẹ̀ gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́ pọ̀ kí yàrá yàrá. Ẹ̀yin brothers ẹ sọ pé orí yìí ti burú ẹ máa lọ sílé ògbó látà ayé àti bí ẹ bá ti ń bọ òrìṣà yín tẹ́ ẹ máa sọ̀rọ̀ yín bẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ agboolé yín lẹ̀ ń sọ tẹ́ ẹ bá jáde wá bá wa á nà yín orí yìí ti burú lọ́rọ̀ yín. Àwọn ń sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ wa sábà fẹ́ lo Sharia lọ lórí a fẹ́ lo Sharia yìí ti ń bẹ nínú òfin Nàìjíríà táàjọ kan níjọ́ tá a sọ pé a fẹ́ jọ máa gbé. Kẹ́ẹ̀sì lọ́rọ̀ ìmọ̀ dáadáa yí pé kódà tí yóò bàbá ya yẹ̀rí àtẹ ìwúrun àbẹ̀rẹ̀. Wọ́n náà ṣe tẹ̀lé wọ́n náà ṣe customary court. Òfin tí ògùnlára ilá gbé kalẹ̀ àti ìtùláàlú ẹlẹ́wọ̀n ló bẹ́ẹ̀ lórí ìlú burú. Ẹ̀yin brothers ní Ọ̀yọ́ state tí wọ́n bá ti mú ọjọ́ míì tí wọ́n launch Muslim Sharia council lábẹ́ launch tí wọ́n bá ti mú ẹ̀yẹ mú ti yín ẹ lọ rí launch ẹ sọ fọlọ́pàá ẹ sọ fún àwọn lọ́yà ká draft lẹ́tà ká ìpọlọ́pàá sí ẹ̀kọ́ àwọn ọ̀tọ́ ẹ bá wá ń gbà ọ̀tọ́lọ́pàá ọ̀bá lè gbà mú ẹ̀yẹ bá mú ẹ lọ mú ọjọ́ mi tó wà pa dáadáa kẹ lọ lọ́jẹ̀ ẹ sì máa retí lọ́sùn Sharia council Ọ̀ṣun state Sharia council àbáwọn ọ̀rọ̀ ìrọ̀lẹ́ wíwò tí a náà ọ̀ ń bọ̀
ẹ̀rọ gbọ́dọ̀ pàṣíwá wọ́n náà lọ́ọ́ jẹ́ kéde tí ẹ̀rọ pé èṣù láàlú àtòkù lákàáyé constitution àwọn náà bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ́ọ́ ṣe lọ́ọ́ jẹ́ lọ́ọ́ lò ó.
nuisance leleyi
is a nuisance. And of course, we know there are people like that in Yorubaland. They are becoming audacious. The Mumurik Akinola, who is the champion of this kind of madness in Yorubaland, he has been at it for a very long time, and he has been receiving his funding from Iran, Iran, Syria, and all what have you, who have been sending him money, and he needs to deliver. So an animal like that will not have a space in Yorubaland. Yeah, he can rant. I mean, we all have this freedom of expression, okay? He can come on and say whatever he wants on social media. What he is saying is that everybody can be saying whatever they like, okay? That's Sharia, they will have it in Yorubaland. And anybody who try to come against them, right, we will beat you. That's what he said. We will beat you if you know, they born you well. Come out and tell us not to have what we want to have. We will have our Sharia. We will and we will beat anybody that says no. You know, your state, go and choose another date that you want to do the launching. All of you in Oshun, we are bringing Sharia Council to Oshun. We are Okay. No wahala, bros. We know your type. And we know, like he also added, he said, even if Yorubaland is, if we have the Yoruba nation, that they will still demand for Sharia to be part of. Okay. It's not going to be the Sharia that you extremists are demanding, because we all know what that is all about. It's not as if you are not allowed to practice your Islam in Yorubaland as we speak. You are allowed. You are doing it. In fact, you have all it takes. You have what do you call that thing again? Ilekeu. You have your mosque everywhere. You have your schools as well. I went to a Muslim primary school. It was a Muslim school. And guess what? Christians, Muslims, Catholic, traditionalists, all of them had their children in that school. We all went there. You know? So, because it is Yorubaland, where the education is the same for everyone, and then you would have that choice. So you see all these fanatics who are pushing this nonsense. We know your intention. Okay? And you will be dealt with. But like I said, everyone has the freedom of that expression of saying whatever they can say. Okay? But I'm not, yini. And not any. Afa. Allah ejeya. Ejeweya. I think I wanted to I want Clement, I want to be relaying, right? Tó bá fọ́gùn mọ́ tó máa fọ́gùn mọ́ lórí, tó bá máa yìnbọn lórí, tó máa yìnbọn lórí, tó bá máa gún yín, èyí tó bá kù yín máa padà sí lọ́rin ni. You don't understand? Ẹ máa padà síbi tó yẹ pé you can easily go and practice that unchallenged, where you can easily just go and intimidate other people. Because we all know this soul drive. We know. But no wahala. We will continue to raise awareness about you guys. And somebody actually said that they have an idea why all of this sudden noise about Sharia. Who are these guys? Here is another one.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mo rí fídíò wèrè kan tó pèrè ní Mufti. Ilẹ̀ Yorùbá la wà, kì í ṣe ilẹ̀ Lárúbáwá. Tó bá fẹ́ ṣe Sharia lọ sílẹ̀ Lárúbáwá, èyí tó sọ yẹn jẹnu ẹ lọ, ìwọ náà ò ní lẹ́yìn lórí ilẹ̀ yìí. Pẹ̀lú àwọn èpè tó ń sẹ́yìn, ò ní lẹ́yìn lórí àtúbọ̀tán, ò ní látúbọ̀tán tó dáa. Èpò lórí burúkú làwọn tó ní wọn ò ní òdẹni gbogbo tó bá jáde lára ẹ̀ ò ní sórí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ṣé pè nìkan ni olórí burúkú níyìn ni nígbà tẹ́ gbowó lọ́wọ́ àwọn Iran tán tẹ́ wá ń dalẹ̀ wa láàmú bí báyìí. Ọ̀dẹ̀ lọ́lẹ̀ Fúlàní kò lọ máa ṣe Sharia ẹ̀ ń bẹ̀. Àwọn olórí burúkú ní gbogbo yín o. Olórí burúkú ní gbogbo yín. ìwọ dọ́lọ̀ mọ̀ níbo ló ń gbé ń bolé ẹ̀ ta lọ́mọ yẹ́ ẹ̀ ta ló máa bá ẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ sọ ara yín pé gbogbo rọ́tẹ package wá yẹn ẹ bá a máa expose yín o gbogbo náà tẹ̀tẹ̀ gbé wá yẹn o olórí burúkú tó gbogbo yín ni ẹ sáfẹ́ balẹ̀ Yorùbá jẹ́ sá wàá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ṣépè fáwọn wo ẹ̀dìwé náà ò ní baba gidi tó wá ní baba gidi ò ní máa wò ní mọ́ ṣépè fún àwọn kan nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ta ni wọ́ tó fẹ́ impose Sharia law lórí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ta làwọn tó ní ọgàn níbo ló ti já wá gan sẹ̀ ó máa lè ní bọ̀bọ̀ yìí náà it's a bastard ó máa lè ní ara àwọn tí ara àwọn tágà tún báyà àwọn báyà àwọn sùn jọ sí ẹ tó bí sílẹ̀ wá ń bí ara wọn lélẹ́yìí o tí o bá kí n ṣe ọmọ àlè èyí tí wọ́n dálẹ̀ ní ilẹ̀ Haúsá àwọn wo ni Sharia lọ ń gbé àwọn tálíkà bẹ̀ ni àwọn ọmọ olówó wọn fẹ́ lá so kí ni so a gbọ́dọ̀ dá òfin mi ilẹ̀ ní lábẹ́ constitution Nàìjíríà ayé Nàìjíríà ní láti pín Nàìjíríà ní láti pín ká lè fèsì ara wa squarely o láti wà lábẹ́ canopy Nàìjíríà a ní lè fèsì ara wa wọ́n tó ẹ pé Nàìjíríà pín tàti lọ kára wa mọ́lé sọ pé at least àjọ gbèjà ara wa wà á ti mọ́lé ẹ̀ á wádìí á mọ́lé á mọ̀nà ẹ̀ á mọ̀ tó bá kí n ṣe Yorùbá tẹ́pẹ́ wọn kó wa papọ̀ wọn ká gun ẹyẹlé pọ̀ má dìye nígbà náà lọ́hùn dọ́tí Ọlọ́run ṣé ìwọ ọmọ jáde mọ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ta ló mọ bàbá ẹ̀ rí gan sẹ́ ọmọ ọ̀ràn kíran mo wá sórí ilẹ̀ mo wá pariwo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá jẹ́ ilẹ̀ Haúsá ni àmọ́ wá rógo àmọ́ wá ṣe nǹkan o àbí wàhálà wọlé wọ ẹwà làwa kóra wá sílẹ̀ Yorùbá yìí àwọn àdàbà kó ahẹ́ndì ìjọ Nàìjíríà ká kúkú pin kí ẹ lò bá dá dúró ẹ ká mọ àwọn tó jọ mọkọ àtàwọn tó jọ máa lè ká bá àwọn tó jọ mọkọ àtàwọn tó jọ máa lè ìwọ wọn á impose Sharia law nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹ ní sí oríire Ọlọ́run sì ní fún yín ṣe gbogbo ẹ tó bá tún ronú ẹ lọ́kàn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá gbé wọn mì àlùbáríkà gbogbo àwọn ẹni Ọlọ́run ẹ wàhálà ń bọ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀ ẹ wàhálà ń rúgbó bọ̀ ó yẹ kí gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ààrẹ sí gbogbo àwọn tí ń dalẹ̀ Yorùbá láàmú Ọlọ́run bá mọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀pọ̀n ti ààrẹ gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ti gbèrò Sharia law yẹn ní abẹ́ law tó gáìdì gbogbo àlẹ̀ Yorùbá tí wọ́n ti kó wọn tì mọ́lẹ̀ irú wo ní bọ́ọ̀tà mọ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ tó wá tó epo tó wá ń ṣépè ìwọ àtàwọn tó ń tì ẹ́ lẹ́yìn ẹ̀ ní látúbọ̀tán rí.
Àṣẹ. God bless you, Jare. Do you remember when I said that the people that are totally against that the imposition of that Sharia in Yorubaland, that they are Muslims? Because a lot of us can tell you what the intention is all about. It is not about Islam. It's not about Sharia. It is about control, domination, like dominance. Sure, you get now? They needed something that will give them, these fanatics, so something that will give them the chance to go after people. You dey hear? Like, they can just say, you can't eat when we are fasting. During Ramadan, we don't want anybody to be eating. Okay? Or go after anybody and say, oh, in the name of blasphemy, oh, you have blasphemed against our prophet, so we are going to beat you to death. These fanatics are just looking for something, a tool to use in, to use in suppressing and subjugating others. That's what they need. That's why they are shouting this Sharia, that we will beat you, we will do this. Nibo, nile Yoruba, try it. They wanted to create this religious division. But you know something? I'm not talking about other places, so I told you before, I said, I never heard about Takia. You see, where some fanatic Muslims, right? They'll be using deceit and lies, okay, to hoodwink the people, befriend you, tell you that, oh, it's not a big problem, is then until they are in the majority. Once they are in the majority, they will now knock you apako. I didn't know about that until I grew up. Because why? The society where they raised me, fanaticism no day. There is nothing called fanaticism. Go and do whatever you want to do. Nobody is touching anybody. You understand? Everybody is coexisting, doing their things in the same household. Though. People who are going to mosque are going to mosque. Those who are going to church are going to church. Husband be Muslim, make the wife be prophetess. So until I grew up, I never knew that people are pretty much like extreme about religion. Honestly speaking, I didn't know that. I didn't grow up like that. I'm not an old man. Oh. I'm just a young person, very young. Oh. But today now, you will be seeing people on social media telling you about it. And that's what they do. Takia, this and that. Well, I'm not saying there is none, no, but not in Yorubaland where I grew up. And listen, we used to have those we called the tabligh. Yeah? The tabligh are those ones with the strange type of Islam. These are the least. And even the tablighs themselves, right? They never tried anything to try to dominate anybody or what have you. But we learn every day. So Emma cook, continue cooking. According to that man, it's like you are cursing the people, telling you that they don't want Sharia. You are cursing them. Who you be? You this unfortunate soul. How dare you come around and be cursing people and threatening people? He's a Muslim. I mean, they should allow us to begin to go after these guys. Oh. Like not until we begin to go after them one by one and begin to kind of deal with them, they won't stop this nonsense they are trying in Yorubaland. Oh. That's the Muslim saying that. That in fact, Nigeria should break up. Honestly speaking, Nigeria should break up so that we can actually face ourselves. We can, we are speaking the same language, the same Yoruba. Sure, you get now. So nobody can hide under the Nigerian law, which talks about Sharia, this Sharia, that. Oh. So nobody can hide under it. We can face ourselves one-on-one in Yorubaland. And I agree. I do. All these nuisance, they are hiding behind this fake Nigeria because they can get all of their support from their Sharia north. The fanatics. He actually asked, he said, you want to force, what are you saying? Like you want to force Sharia in Yorubaland? You demand? Like you demand, How far with those people practicing it in northern Nigeria? How many of their elites, how many of their politicians have been arrested and punished by Sharia? So you now come on social media, you are cursing people. That's what that man was saying. You are cursing people who said no. And this country needs to break up. We need to break up this country so that we can face ourselves. We can sort it out within ourselves. So there will be no reason to be like, pointing fingers or saying, so people, they incite so people. No incitement. So if Nigeria break up, if they burn your papa well, okay, or you begin to push for this, your useless Sharia that you want. Come and push it. So that we can settle it one-on-one and say, okay, if now be majority, if now us be majority, mo kuku settle am. So that Nigeria no go be your excuse for it. You understand me now? Because Yorubaland is the place where religious tolerance and all that is the most pronounced in Nigeria today. We've never had anything called religious crisis, ever. And similarly, even the Eastern Nigeria that are pretty much like, they do not want anything to do with this Islam, that. Yet you still have mosques, central mosques this, central mosques that. The Muslim communities in eastern part of Nigeria, they've never had any religious crisis. Or those who are putting us in this fear of phobia of this their extreme Islam, they are these northerners. Not a good example at all. So if anybody is within Yorubaland And they feel, I don't even understand, like, do you feel marginalized as a Muslim? That you need your own separate law? That you want to set up your own separate courts? Where, go try on. You know? So we'll keep raising the awareness, helping the people to understand that, you see, these guys are not even speaking for the Muslims themselves. They just want something that will give them leverage and control so that they can begin to, you know, arrest people and beat people up in the name of their Sharia. It's not about, they will tell you, oh, it's not for Muslims, it's not for non-Muslims. So Sharia is for our Sharia. Now they're mad. Maybe so they're talking for Zamfara. Is that not the same thing they said in Kaduna, Kano, Sokoto? And then go and read about it, where people, non-Muslims, are being arrested for eating during Ramadan. Imagine you being, somebody arrests you that you are eating because other people are fasting. But if you know, if you control your, what have you, what's it concern me with your fast or fasting? What's my business with you fasting? That I have to, I must not eat in public. Like, because I'm fast, because of your religion, then I can't, you demand in it. But there are people justifying that. We know, nobody say we don't say extremists today, Yorubaland too. Or their extremism now inside their house, if you be Muslim, if you be Islamic extremist, extremist, we will tell ourselves the truth. So the extremism, if not, that's the truth. And we are going to continue to enlighten the public. You will not have dominance over people using religion in Yorubaland. You see, you won't. It's going to be a difficult one. But you can enjoy your whatever, like your echo chamber. You can enjoy. And I'm so happy. This is not even like Christians rejecting it and what have you now. Even Muslims are at the forefront. Like, we know what you are. We know your intention. If you don't go collect money from these people to come and push this nonsense in Yorubaland, you better return their money. It's not going to work. There's nothing called religious crisis. It's not going to happen in Yorubaland. Now you go, we go deal with one by one. You know? So that is that. This is not good. Where some people also got kidnapped just about 3 days ago. Saw this video in the East.
This is our Reverend Imafidon. They just passed me a few minutes ago at Buluku, only to reach Obio. They ran into herdsmen, Fulani herdsmen. They carried him, carried a lot of, even his bag. They break his head. Look at him. Look at my pastor that just passed me now. Look at, they gave him sand to eat, but God save him. Look at his cloth. They tear his cloth, new cloth that he wear. I greeted him a few minutes ago. The bag containing the money has both handset, everything. They have carried it. So look at the sign now. Look at now. Fulani herdsmen just carried him and this woman. Look at the other woman. They have 3 persons. Look at them here. So this is Obio by Ezechime. By Ezechime secondary school here. That is this. From church. So he's just coming back from Ogwashuku church, going back to Abo. So that is it. This is
Fulani terrorists who are terrorizing us in the south. They are still pretty much active. We are on our own. And it's only once in a while that you get to see videos like that to give you a reminder that the terrorists are still very much active, taking advantage of the weak security, or system in the southern part of Nigeria. They go on and look at the pockets the pocket areas where they believe that they could carry out these sinister attacks, and then their victims, many of them don't really live to tell the story. Those ones are lucky, they will say, this is our reality. And those are the ones who could make video to show you. Yes, where you see one video, there are 100 others that were not recorded for you to see. And they were successful kidnappings by the Fulani terrorists in Yorubaland, in Igboland, in Ijoland, Yorubaland, and all these lands across the south. But if you dare try to question the militarization of the eastern part of Nigeria, and say, but you have this military in eastern part of Nigeria, roadblocks, hundreds of roadblocks. How did these terrorists, these kidnappers, how are they able to kind of like move on and pass and undetected? How? A lot of people have told us that they work hand in hand as well with these terrorists. I mean, what else would you say? How can you describe a place that is the most militarized place in the entire Nigeria? The northern Nigeria, where we have all these hundreds of thousands of terrorists, different group of terrorists in northern Nigeria, you would never see the amount, you will never even see the 1/3 of the security roadblocks that you have in the eastern part of Nigeria. You will never see 1/3 of that in the northern part of Nigeria, if you ever see any at all. So what is their essence? Extorting people. And as a young man, listen, if you're watching me from Nigeria as a young man, Nigerian police, they are not your friend, though. You get? Police is not your friend, though. In Port Harcourt, right? If you are kind of wondering, how are the terrorists able to escape all these security guys with guns? Because this is what they are busy doing. Something like this.
Don't worry. So if it is by entire estate, since nobody go hold am. I swear. If I carry I don't even me. If not me, we still that go. Used to wait. We know because we don't. Hey, please hide your dad. I'm not the boy, sir. I'm not the boy. First of all, your case appearance. I'm enter his car without his consent, so it's wrong. The problem with all these boys now, the way that they dress. That is true. How do you make the match? You're not supposed to enter his motor without his consent. Open gate for them. Open. Not you that they talk to us. He's not talking to you. Obasa is not talking to you. But then,
and Nigeria is a place where stereotyping people is very common. Just don't be a victim. Okay? Where I saw that video, in fact, when I shared that video on Mayegun's Diary Politico, the criminal policemen, they have their own supporters too. For example, you'll see comments like, why don't you wait for the stop and search when they stopped you? Others were like, I mean, the police have the right to stop you. Look at the kind of car these young people are driving because they are Yahoo boys. It is Nigeria. So the security guys are profiling you is a Nigerian thing. If you drive a nice car or you dress nice, even your neighbors, they will report you. Yeah, they will call the police on you. But like, see, normally, if police receive reports and say, oh, we suspect you, it should be for prevention of crime, Abi. But in Nigeria, it's not for prevention of crime. It is how to extort you, even if you are not a criminal. Right? So many times, many times when I'm like in my car driving, you know, I'm sometimes like, man, but if I was in Nigeria, God knows how many times, right, that the police would have stopped me. And it is not because they wanted to look for a crime or stop a crime. It is because, number one, they will be jealous and be like, how can you, this young man, be driving this kind of car? Then they'll be looking they'll be looking at how they are going to extort me. Sure, you get, you know, because if you convert the price of my car to Naira, I'm just using that now because this is something that kind of gives me a bit of a PTSD about that contraption. My car is a brand new car to start with. The value is put at 35,000 pounds. That's like 70 million Naira. Yeah, my Akana. So if I was driving that in Lagos, for example, there will be policemen that will automatically just feel like I am too young to be driving a 70 million Naira car. Out of jealousy, out of, I don't know, because he will compare his own life where he is being paid 50,000 Naira or 100,000 Naira and he can't even afford a used car. So how dare you, you must be a Yahoo boy. I must automatically be a Yahoo boy to be driving that kind of a car in Nigeria. So normally, if people now see me being harassed by policemen, they will automatically believe that I'm a Yahoo boy. You know, they say, you must be a Yahoo boy, Jare. He's a Yahoo boy. Which work are you doing? All of you, these boys, now so now you now be criminal. If you be, you see, this one is, they won't even say you feel be criminals. They will say you be criminal. That is one thing about that contraption. Because somebody of my age cannot walk, right, and earn enough to drive a nice car, except that, okay, well, maybe if I happen to be Mayegun in Nigeria too, maybe a few people will know me and say, he's a YouTuber, he's a, you know what I mean? Like, that may be my saving grace. But would I be saved from the profiling? No. Would the people that will be harassing me interested in stopping a crime that if I'm a criminal? No. They want to collect their own rubber. Give us something. You know what I mean? Which work are you doing? Show your particular. Where's your particular? Show me your document. Show, you know, and they'll be threatening you with gun. So I will have to put some money in my car so that when the police jump on my bonnet or jump into my car, I can say, officer, please take this 20,000 Naira, please, I'm in a hurry. And then they will say, hey, even if I get a dead man inside my boots, they're not interested. They're only interested in what do you have for us. If I do not give them anything, that is when you are going to see that similar scenario. In that contraption. She like me. No be life be this. Are you calling being? This is not life. You know, it is not life. So we'll leave it at that. In Maputo, Mozambique, 2 months ago in October, they had an election. Just like that of Nigeria, where you had your own charade. The ruling party, they had the power to manipulate the election, rig it, which they did. And people reacted, right? About they reacted, everywhere bursts. Then they told the opposition to go to court, to go and prove their case. They went to court. So a few days back, their Supreme Court now ruled like Nigeria Supreme Court did and validated the fraud. The ruling party continued despite the rigging. Man, for the past 5 days now, we have had a prison break. We have had police and the military going after protesters, shooting and killing them, execution style. Mozambique is also one of the poorest countries in Africa. But guess what? They are so blessed and so rich in liquid natural gas that they could have been one of the richest countries in the world. Their population is not massive. So it could have actually taken care of them. Their resources could have taken care of them. But the corruption, as well as the external influence, foreign influence over their resources, has now plunged this South African country into an everlasting bloodstream of violence. Our stream of blood of violence. Let me show you some of it from Mozambique.
Get out. We don't need you again here. Mr. President, take your people and get out. We need our President Venancio because he will salve our life, not you. You kill people. You steal people. You do everything bad. Get out.
Ya levaron.
Meu Deus. Vocês, não tem polícia aqui. Bateria! Bateria mesmo! Auen, você é mulher, não tem vergonha! Sua burra! Não tem vergonha, mulheres, mulheres.
Estão a invadir, acham para aí, pessoal, logo eu vou entrar. Ei, veneno! Volta com, acabaram de entrar na loja, volta com aqui. Vamos tirar coisas.
Rigging elections, manipulating the people's will, and then using the courts to legitimize it always have consequences, except in Nigeria, where people's wish can be trampled upon without any consequences. What they did to them in Mozambique is so similar to what they did to you in Nigeria. They manipulated the results. They have people's voters' cards not given to them, but given to political party. The ruling party, when the people broke into their office, guess what they found? Voters' cards. They said they found this 250 kg, like what we call the Ghana must go bag, inside the supposed ruling party's office, in one of the offices. Voters' card of people were being used to cast votes, while the real people who are supposed to have the cards were not given the cards in some instances, in some cases. And where the where the voting was totally not in favor of the ruling party, they still declared the ruling party the winner by 65% of the vote. You know what actually really makes it even more funny? They gave the ruling party won by 65.2 or so percent of the vote. The opposition party, the two of them, the other candidates, one of them was declared to have won, to have had 25.4% of the vote. The second one also had 24% of the vote. So when you add all of that together, it's like over 100% of the vote. 65% plus 25%, that's 90%. 90% plus a 24 or 25% again, that's going to be 115%. That's the total vote, which means the total number of votes cast is actually more than the total number of results announced. I don't know how to even put that. It is so typical of what you have in that contraption, Nigeria. So I don't know if we should say pray for Mozambique. This is the second reaction or second riot in 2 months. The first one was when the election result was announced. The second one, which is the recent one, is when the Supreme Court validated the fraud. And right now, it is a total breakdown of law and order in Mozambique. And some countries like South Africa, they have been sending troops and weapons to support the government there in clamping and crushing all these protests. We've had the prison break and all that, but there were so many shootings. So that's why I didn't bring you the video, okay? So let's leave Mozambique because it's a brief one and come back to Nigeria. 2 days ago, we saw the APC, Egbekegbe thugs, going from one local government area to another. Following the supposed directive of the governor, Okpe Odoyo. So your governor in Edo, Bolo, Okpe Odoyo, which is Monday, Okpe Odoyo, who claimed that the local government chairman in Edo State, elected local government chairman in Edo State, they disobeyed him. And he therefore, he then called on the State House of Assembly to suspend all of them, which is illegal, but they did it anyway. And he told them never to show up at the council anymore. So I think those ones went to court. But before the court ruling, APC thugs armed with, bulala, whip, canes, like sticks. They went from one local government to another, looking for any local government chairman that will show up, and they will beat them. One of them just showed up, having received what they call the High Court judgment that said that it was illegal for them to be suspended. Somehow, here is what he had to say. Listen.
Yes, sir. Yes, from all indications and from rumors we are hearing out there that your resumption of office is already sending waves out there to the public, and also that there are claims that there are talks already mobilizing, coming down to Isako West local government council to disrupt administrative activities as a result of your resumption. So, sir, I would like to hear your opinion about these claims, sir.
Well, I am not actually much disturbed about those information. Let me not call it rumor. I'm not disturbed because I am not going against the law. I abide by law to resume office as executive chairman of the council. So if anybody, all in the name of hooliganism, all in the name of thuggery and the rest of them, decide to make himself available for such a barbaric assignment, for such assignment that does not benefit the people but destroys, no problem. I have the backing of the law and I have the backing of Almighty Allah and of course the people of Isako West local government to resume office and then to do that which will benefit them and will enable me to deliver that dividend of democracy that I promised during my electionary campaign, which I started doing. It can't be called halfway.
Yes. No doubt, sir. Security is one of your cardinal objectives in this your administration. So what message do you have to send to, you like to pass to the security agencies concerning this rumor that is being spread outside, sir?
Yeah, prior to my resumption today, before I got to office, I communicated to law enforcement agencies, the police, the area commander, the DPOs, that I am going to resume office today. As we speak.
Anyway, 4 months ago, Debulumayi, who happened to be the work minister under thiefnubu, announced confidently that before Christmas this year, all the federal roads in Nigeria will become motorable. But he has failed to deliver. I don't know why he had to say that, but he claimed, because last year, Debulumayi got 300 billion naira in a supplementary budget that thiefnubu submitted few months after seizing power in Nigeria. Debulumayi was asked to account for this money, and he told the National Assembly members that they have invested this money in rehabilitating so many roads, and before Christmas 2024, all the federal roads in Nigeria will become motorable. Showore was on tour and he shared this clip. This was supposed to be a federal road. Take a look.
What's this one man on?
So he failed. But there is no consequences for promise and fail in that contraption. At least, there's no consequences. So he failed. More than 90% of the federal roads in Nigeria are not motorable. They are death traps. And there are billions and trillions of money expended, purportedly expended on rehabilitating them or fixing them. But like the electricity, the more money they pumped into it, the more darkness you get. Because it is Nigeria. But somebody is proud that thiefnubu is doing well, that he had to apologize for not supporting him. I don't know who is this madman, but I think you should know that. you are sharing country with some certain people who are not really mentally okay. But for the record, somebody regrets not supporting thiefnubu. I don't know which of the asylum homes or psychiatric home this guy escaped from. It doesn't look right to me.
I want to apologize to every Nigerians. I am sorry I supported Peter Obi during the last presidential election. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I am sorry I didn't support you then because I didn't believe in your vision. Today, I want to say I believed in your vision. I see how far you are moving Nigeria. I knew where we were when you came in as a president and where we are today. And I want to assure those who supported you last election that in the next election, we will be the one to support you. And I want to say thank you for we Nigerians. Today we are speaking one language. We now understood what it means to have a credible leader as a president. I want to apologize.
So I don't know if it is sarcasm or somebody just missed their medication. But there are too many mad people in Nigeria right now that you can barely differentiate. That particular one don't look well. Okay. So, well, I'll leave you to it and take my short break. Okay. Even before that, I also saw this. Where, what is his name again? Habib. I think it's, what do you call him again? Melody Abiklebanpe, you know. Portable has something to say about the missing money. Yeah, the money that got missing yesterday. Let me add that to it before I go.
They don't thief NGO money, they don't hack them. Well, I'm a Mama very dark mapa. I said to me at the I was ringing. Now maybe speaking ole. Mo fellow amamole, amanopa. What toba ti ko wo NGO money there? Man lu ma koja leko. Ma Abuja o amalu e. So ole. A friend of a thief is a thief. A friend of a rich man is not a rich man. A rich man, that was job for you. Richest men, that was job for you. They put almost 180 million inside NGO money, but who are one line? Who I don't know? Who are on my street? Who are on my bank away? On my turn here. You know, green, do school, or that pie? A lady buru cushion. You say you the justice for Nigeria and yourself you the justice for. Ah, 100 million for our cow around told you I want the rice. Are they share Indomie? Are they do road? You the year? Are they do street light from area? Ona party alaya inje. Olori buruku. They give you NGO money. Go ba manage here. Go fa ọmọ line. Owo àwọn ọmọ line. Lo ba lo non club olóbùṣán. Ebi pa wèrè. Ẹ wò. Ó fẹ́ máa ṣe bí láké. Nobody can for me. You cannot do like me. You cannot be like me. Oh, lè sòtítọ́ ọ̀rọ̀. I'm a God sent. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. Olórí burúkú yín olè ní yín yahoo lẹ̀ ń ṣe. Yahoo lẹ̀ ń ṣe olórí burúkú. NGO money. Ọ̀tẹ̀wó síbẹ̀.
We report Nigeria. Like it's bend down select, pick your own here and there. Body, you know. I don't want to call this man with it, but just like we woke up on Christmas Day, as people are preparing to go to church and come back and eat chicken. And so we heard our pastor next door, even with his megaphone. They don't thief Pastor Fawo.
I am a pastor. That fowl is 30,000 naira. You that see the person that carry the fowl, you who born the child, and you who they carry the fowl inside the house. 12 midnight, you will die unless you carry the fowl back.
Amen.
Amen. In this compound.
Yes, sir.
They don't slaughter the fowl. The woman come confess. He said, Pastor, I'm not there. You won't buy fowl food for my wife. I said, no. Now listen to me. If I be a man of God, that fowl is pastor fowl. 30,000 naira. If you don't return the fowl before 12 midnight, your own finish.
Amen.
No mother, no father, no wife, no children.
Take our place first.
No court. Civil defense cash you, you dey deny. You go die well.
Amen.
I say you go die well.
Amen.
This is the last time you did fowl. Because you don't think pastor fowl.
Nobody should thief pastor fowl. About with it for Nigeria, you get, just make sure, say, you know, you dey wear clothes so that you can possibly cover your own craze. Now, crazy people they rule. Now, crazy people they rule. It's a mad jungle. Also, mad people don't take over asylum. Mazim Namdekanu says, mad people everywhere. Mad people everywhere. Let me take a break. I'll come back and take calls. Let's hope the line opens and works there, okay? But listen, we are still pretty much soliciting for your support, dear brethren, okay? I am saddled with the responsibility of raising 20 million naira for the vulnerable families in Yorubaland. In January, we intend to actually support 1,500 families, making about 6,000 people, hopefully. So every penny counts. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. I am going to be back in a minute or two. But listen, if you have to go as well, remember, like the broadcast, share it. Okay. Subscribe to my channel as well. And then see me again next time. But if you are staying back, okay, use the number right there on your screen and you can call in to add your own contribution. I will be back in a minute or two. Speak in tongue. Thank you so much, Owoduni. I just received your PayPal contribution. Thank you. You know something? Your contribution is quite substantial as well. Okay. Once we change that to Naira, Ilemakuni. So thank you. Same to you, Prince JJ right? Like I said, every penny counts. Okay. If you can't give us Naira, you can give us dollars. You can give us, pounds as well. Or just call your own agent. Okay. Give them this detail. All right. So, Caro Ojire Community Initiatives for this January Family Support Initiative. Okay. And indeed, you will be happy. You did. All right. Like when we begin to bring to your screen the beneficiary of this, your kind gesture, right? It feels good to give. I mean, I love giving, and I love seeing the smiles on the face of those who are the beneficiary. especially when you know that the beneficiaries are likely people that can never really pay you back. Did you get that now? So it can be great. Now let's check. My line is opened, and give me a second. What's that? What's that? Am I having an issue with that? Right. I think I know why sometimes this, what do you call it? Why my line hasn't been working. I think I should have done some level of upgrade. Fortunately, I didn't. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so I'm going to have to deal with that before we can have our line back. Give me a sec. Why now? Right. Okay. I'm so sorry that the line is not going to possibly really work this evening. So I'm just going to have to like, yeah, I think it needs an update, unfortunately, right? So I will deal with that before our next meet again. I'm so sorry if you have been trying to call through and it's just not coming through. So hopefully it will tomorrow. So ladies and gentlemen, brethren, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of the evening, okay? I am going to see you some other time. Stay safe and good night. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Mayegun dayari political. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayebi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Mayegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Mayegun máa wí.
àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀ súnra kì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.